I don't think Sydney knows what she's saying when she's saying it. Like, that was my takeaway.
Yeah.
And also, Leia throwing out gaslight. She threw that out there hoping it would stick, and it did not stick. And nobody was falling for it. And then immediately when they came back from break, it was like she was apologizing to Maria, and she realized that maybe she threw the wrong term out there, because it was becoming apparent on this show and in general that people throw words out that they don't even know what the use for the words are.
Right.
And they just say everybody's doing it. It's the same thing with narcissists now. Everybody's a narcissist. There are true narcissists out there. There definitely are. But people just hear a word and they run with it and they accuse everybody of being it or whatever. And I think Sydney, with the gaslighting on the show and then on her social media, Leia took that and was like, I'm going to use this now, when that just like was not really what was happening.
I felt like that whole conversation needed a much better moderator. No offense to Jesse, but I just felt like I don't know. I was interested in hearing that conversation and to really like get more into what had gone on, because honestly Sydney didn't even really talk that much. Like they didn't really address too much of those issues. I know a million like this has to get cut down a lot. They record for like 1 million hours and then they have to cut it down to 45 minutes basically of actual stuff. So I'm sure some things get cut, but anytime it just ends up with all the girls like kind of talking over each other and nobody's like stepping in to be like, hey, let her talk, like whatever. It was just like, oh, like, come on, guys. Like there's no constructive conversation. They did try and they obviously got to a resolution and they all hugged it out when Maria got her time on the hot seat, as they say. But I felt like there was a conversation that Maria and Sydney needed to have that probably should have made air that didn't.
Yeah, I also feel like they did keep cutting Sydney off.
Yeah.
Which was unfair to her, but also extremely frustrating coming from Maria's side to hear Sydney talk and like you hear like you're like she's lying, and so you do cut her off.
Yep.
But then she's not getting to speak. So I see kind of both there. Although I think Maria did a fantastic job of like holding her own. I hope that she is the Bachelorette, because I feel like she's unpolished and she's herself and she's not trying to be this buttoned up version of herself. She's just unapologetically herself. And
yeah,
she
I agree.
Talks the way she wants to talk and she acts the way she wants to act. And I think she would make for a great Bachelorette and like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
But it did seem like the girls, they all made amends. In that situation, it's like, why not? Like, what are we fighting about here?
Right.
Let's all just make up. Who really cares about this? None of us are with Joey. So
They normally always do.
Right. They're like, none of us are with him. None of us got it. So why don't we all just throw our hands up in the air and make up? We did see, Jess, she went up there to talk about her time with Joey. I didn't realize how strong of a connection they maybe had when I was watching Jess talk about it. Jen, sorry. See, very confusing. Jen. I didn't realize that the connection that they had was so strong.
Yeah.
But hearing her talk about it, I was like, oh, wow, they did have a genuine connection, because she was like really emotional about it. And I think it just goes to show that this season favored certain people in editing, which always happens. But I kind of felt that way with like the connections here, because I was like, I didn't even realize their connection was that strong.
Yeah, I mean, it really could. Joey still, it just feels like Joey just has done a great job, even, not to skip ahead, but even when he was talking to Rachel, and Rachel was just like, our relationship like gave me my confidence back. Like all these really amazing compliments that she had for Joey and their time together, and how it really affected her and how she felt about herself in a positive way. Was so sweet and so nice, and it really none of them have a bad word to say about Joey. That's for sure.
And Lexi as well, talking about her endometriosis and everything, and how she felt like no guy had ever given her the reaction that Joey did.
And Joey said he wanted to have a little care package.
It's so sweet.